Hi Facebook world, it's Valerie. I had a quiet house, so I wanted to jump on and talk to you today about applesauce. It's on sale this month, and it's one of those things that if you haven't had any experience with, you might wonder what it's like. It might be a little bit intimidating, and I have recently discovered some awesome ways to use it, and so I wanted to share that with you. If you are joining us on the replay, say hi. And let me know if you've ever tried our applesauce, or if you like applesauce, or if you even are looking for ways to use applesauce. What are your favorite ways to use applesauce? You know, the health industry has shifted from low fat, where we used applesauce a lot, to replace our oils. And if you need a low-fat diet, that's still a great way to do it. And keto is very popular now, and so applesauce as a sub for oil, you know, keto is very high fat, so maybe that's not something you're into, but if you need applesauce, this is a great thing to have in your pantry because it's so quick and easy to use. So this is the applesauce, and basically it is just minced dehydrated apples. So they're tiny little apples and they're very sweet. I don't know which kind of apples they are, but they're very sweet, and sometimes I like to just put a little handful in and pop it in my mouth as a quick snack. So to reconstitute applesauce, the directions on the can say put 1 cup of Thrive applesauce and 2.5 cups hot water in a blender and blend on high until smooth. Then add 3/4 teaspoon cinnamon and 2 tablespoons white sugar for sweeter applesauce. Let it cool in refrigerator for at least 1 hour. Makes 3 cups of applesauce. I have never put it in a blender to make it. I'm going to show you how to make it right now. So the ratio, 1 cup applesauce to 2.5 cups hot water. So it's basically a 1-to-2 ratio with a little bit extra. So we're gonna make some right now. I'm going to bring you a little bit closer so that you can see what I am doing. So I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of the apples. So this is what they look like. I don't know if you can see it very well. So 2 tablespoons, that's basically 1/8 of a cup. And the way that comes out as far as water goes, so 2 tablespoons, double would be 4 tablespoons, which is 1/4 cup. So 2 tablespoons is 1/8 a cup. And then double that would be 4 tablespoons, and a little bit extra, we're going to put in 5 tablespoons of water. And I used my electric kettle to boil it, so it did the heavy-duty work for me. I also put some, turned the tap on till it was really hot, and then poured it in, and I timed it. It took about 2 minutes for the applesauce to refresh from the hot water from my sink, which really does run hot. And then I timed it with the blender, or I'm sorry, with the electric kettle, and it was like virtually instant, like 30 seconds. So let's put this up here so you can see it. Hopefully you can. It looks very dark over there. Okay, so we're going to add 5 tablespoons of water. Don't want to burn myself. And I just stir it up. And what this will do, it'll refresh very quickly, and it'll be more like a chunky applesauce. If you want a smoother applesauce, then you can puree it in the blender. You can follow those directions, and you can see it's already like starting to get thick. So my boys like this, especially my 4-year-old. This is a really quick and easy way to make applesauce when there isn't any in the fridge. I used to buy like the big bottles of applesauce, and then sometimes I wouldn't finish it, and then they would get all moldy around the edge, and it would be a waste. And I know you can buy these little packs, which are also very convenient because these are in 1/2 cup measurements, which if you're subbing for oil, this is usually what you need, is about 1/2 cup. But if you don't have these on hand, or you run out, then the Thrive applesauce is a great way to do it. And look, it's already thick. And then you could add the cinnamon and sugar if you want. For me, this is already sweet enough. We like the natural applesauce anyway, so it's ready to eat. It's going to be hot because we used hot water. So you can let it cool a little bit and then eat it. And I wanted to show you how much that makes. So this was 2 tablespoons dry. And this is a half a cup measuring, but you can see the line. It's really bad lighting. You can see the line where it's a 1/4 cup. So in no time at all, 30 seconds, we had applesauce ready. And it has made, this 2 tablespoons, I didn't quite scrape it all out. So it's almost a half a cup of applesauce from those 2 tablespoons of applesauce. So this is a really great way to, well, and actually I think if we puree it, it might get bigger. I'm not very good at that kind of thinking, so, but it goes a long way, those 2 tablespoons. So a little goes for a lot. So if you want to just eat applesauce, this is a great way. Hi, welcome. Hey, Melissa. So we were making applesauce out of the Thrive applesauce. We used 2 tablespoons of the dried applesauce, and it made almost an entire half cup. So it's just shy of a half a cup of applesauce. And this is what it looks like, refreshed. But you don't have to use it as applesauce. So recently I made some apple muffins, and the recipe is posted on my jar group, and it calls for a 1/4 cup of grated raw apples. What I did was, it was really lazy. I had a whole cup, like a 1 cup measuring cup, and I filled it halfway up with the Thrive applesauce, and then I filled the rest of the cup up with water and just let it sit there, and then added that to my muffin recipe. And that was plenty to get an apple flavor. It was like using the grated raw apples. So you can use this in place of grated apples. Another way that I like to use the applesauce is in my oatmeal. Some people don't realize that you can cook oatmeal in your microwave, but you can. It's really easy, whether it's rolled or quick oats. So I have a half a cup of oats. The ratio for oats is 1 cup. It's a 1-to-1. So no, 1-to-2. So whatever you put in your oats, double it for your water. So this is a half a cup of oats. So I would put in 1 cup of water, microwave it for about 1.5 minutes, stir it, and then you can add it, heat it up in 30-minute increments until 30-second increments. Sorry, not minutes. That would be a mess. 30-second increments until it's the consistency you want. So you can just scoop the apples straight in here, because it needs water to refresh. So you just sprinkle it in and add your water. Maybe add a little bit extra water because the applesauce will absorb it. But then you just season it how you want. With apples, you could even add nuts to it and cinnamon. And I like to add vanilla extract. Microwave it, and you have a nice warm breakfast. So apple oatmeal. Another thing, I have a pancake recipe. I like to add things to pancakes all the time. Blueberries, strawberries, chocolate chips, nuts, apples. So you can add the applesauce in there for your pancakes. And I also like to add apples into my tuna when I make tuna. Sometimes I will take like the Granny Smith apples, which are like sliced apples, and I'll break them up. But lately I've just been scooping some applesauce in there to give it an extra like sweetness to my tuna. So those are some ideas of how to use the applesauce. If you have any questions, go ahead and post it in the comments, and I will come back to you and answer those for you. A couple other things that are on sale this month, just since I have you on here. Passion fruit yogurt bites, and these are open, so I'll show you what they look like. These you can eat straight, like crunch it, or you can just let them sit and dissolve on your tongue. Whole strawberries, which are great for covering in chocolate or dipping in chocolate, or adding them to your smoothies. My husband does that a lot. Peach slices. I have a peach cobbler recipe in my Meal in a Jar group. You can't even see this. So peach slices are on sale honey whole wheat dough mix, which I used to shy away from using the dough mixes, but I, thanks to Simple Plate, have come to love them. They are so easy to use. I use them to make breads, pizza dough, all kinds of things. So if you want to get your feet wet with them, order some Simple Plates that have like a crust in them or a dough, and you'll get to experiment with the dough mix. Mushrooms are on sale. These are awesome, especially from somebody who's not a mushroom eater. These are great. And they are 30% off this month, so they have an extra discount. And then cheddar cheese is on sale. I couldn't find any. I thought I bought some, but so this is Monterey Jack, but this is what it looks like. And you can eat this straight as it is, and it's like a nice crunchy snack. Or you can refresh it with water. Cold water, or it will melt. And then chopped onions are on sale. These are a lifesaver. Just scoop and sprinkle. I made beef stroganoff recently, and with regular beef, like I actually used beef. Had to cook it. There was blood and everything. Reminded me why I didn't like using raw meat. But I just scooped the chopped onions on top for the flavor. It was great. And then organic peas, which I do not have. I have regular peas, but those are also on sale. So you can get those through my shop button or on Facebook. And then recipes for the applesauce are in my Meal in a Jar group. There's the muffin recipe, and I will also post my favorite pancake recipe that I like to add apples and nuts to. And then I'm trying to think, what else did I say? Oh, the apple muffin recipe and the peach cobbler recipe are in my Meal in a Jar group in the files section. So I hope this helps you. I hope you have a great week, and happy October.